The salty tang of ocean air clung to everything in Port Haven, Maine, that sticky Friday night in the fall of 2023. The Anchor Tavern was the kind of place where locals nursed their drafts and swapped tall tales about storms that swallowed ships whole. Flickering neon signs buzzed over scarred wooden tables, and the jukebox hummed low with Springsteen, like it was trying to drown out the ghosts everyone carried. Elena Harper moved through the crowd like a shadow's light build, dark hair pulled into a messy bun, her black server's shirt hiding more than it showed. She was new in town, or so folks thought, just another face scraping by after the world chewed her up and spit her out. It started with a crash that sliced through the chatter like a knife. A pint glass hit the hardwood floor, shards skittering like shrapnel. "Hey, sweetheart." Viktor Kozlov's voice boomed from the corner booth, thick with that fake drawl he thought passed for American. He was all broad shoulders and half-unbuttoned fatigues, the kind of guy who wore his Marine patch like a crown. "You think you're hot stuff, dumping drinks on a vet's lap?" Laughter rippled from his crew. Ivan Petrov with his phone out, filming like it was payday. Sergei Malin nursing a scar that peeked from his collar. Dmitry Volkov blocking the door with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. Elena knelt without a word, her hands steady as she gathered the pieces. But if you looked close, those fingers weren't shaking from fear. They were coiled, like a spring waiting to snap. "I'm sorry," she murmured, voice soft as sea foam, eyes down. More chuckles, phones tilting for the show. Nobody stepped in drunk soldiers on a bender. In Port Haven, that was just another wave crashing. Victor hauled her up by the collar, his breath hot with cheap whiskey. "Sorry? That fixed my shirt, darling." His fist rose, knuckles white, and the room held its breath. But Elena just stood there, shoulders rounded, looking every bit the cornered mouse. Except mice don't map exits in 2-second glances. Front door, side window, back alley, fire escape. And they sure as hell don't breathe in fours. Inhale, hold, exhale like they're bracing for incoming fire. Across the bar, General Elias Thorne nursed his bourbon in the shadows, his weathered eyes tracking it all over the glass rim. He'd seen that stillness before, in the dust-choked valleys of Helmand Province. Tom Riley, the bartender with a jaw like granite, shot a look to Ryan Hale, the bouncer built like a lighthouse. A subtle head shake. "Not yet. Hold." The air thickened, grease from the fryer mixing with the metallic edge of tension. Sergei poured his beer deliberate-like onto the floor, amber pooling around Elena's boots. "Oops. Clean that up too, huh?" She dropped to her knees again, towel in hand, but her weight was forward on the balls of her feet, poised, not panicked. A combat crouch wrapped in defeat. Her mind flickered, just for a beat. Rain-lashed nights in the Hindu Kush, the chatter of AKs cutting through fog, screams that ended in gurgles. Then back to the towel, wiping slow. Harlan Brooks, the old-timer in the faded army jacket at table 7, pushed his chair back with a scrape that echoed too loud. "Leave her be, boys. Ain't your fight." Dmitri shoved him down hard. "Zip it, Grandpa. This ain't your beachhead." The words landed wrong, laced with something foreign under the slur, Eastern grit, like gravel from the steppes. Elena's mask slipped, just a flicker, eyes like polished flint. Thorne saw it. Tom saw it. Hell, even Victor felt the chill crawl up his spine. "Please," Elena whispered, reaching for her pocket. A photo fluttered out, a girl in a wheelchair, grinning fierce despite the tubes snaking from her arms, dress blues crisp on her lap. Victor's boot came down, grinding it into the wet wood. "Your kid? Where's Pops?" Probably bolted when he saw what a mess he didn't finish. Elena went statue still. Not fear. This was the quiet before the Leviathan rises. The room dropped 10 degrees, primal instinct prickling necks. Something ancient had just woken up. Her hand ghosted her hip, where a holster would sit if this were anywhere but here. Under her shirt, scars whispered stories, titanium shears for cutting through Kevlar, gauze that clotted arteries in seconds. Shrapnel pocks on her belly, souvenirs from blasts that should have ended her. 3 seconds ticked. Silence stretched like a tripwire. Tom's hand vanished under the bar, murmuring into his phone. Code red. "Now." Thorne rose slow, voice like thunder wrapped in velvet. "Bar's closing early, son. Time to go." Dmitri moved to block him, hand twitching toward his belt. Lights stuttered, flicker, then held. Clicks from the back, magnetic locks engaging on the doors. What was a rowdy dive had flipped to a kill box. Elena's internal clock hummed. 12 minutes till go time. Victor circled her, smirking. Enough play. Everybody down. Now. The act shattered. Guns bloomed in hands not sloppy drunks, but pros, draws smooth as oil. Screams hit the deck, patrons flat on the floor. All but Elena. She stood, palms loose, as barrels kissed her chest. You, Victor snarled, eyes narrowing. Something's off. Ivan's phone caught it all, live streaming the takedown. A pat down on Thorn. Shit, he's brass. Full bird colonel. Elena raised her hand slow, shirt riding up. Ivan spotted at first the ink peeking at her waist. Not some tramp stamp. Black lines sharp as a bayonet. Turn around. Victor barked, all trace of the hayseed gone. Voice like a commissar's. She pivoted deliberate, every eye glued. Shirt. Off. No, please, she begged, voice cracking just right. He yanked, cloth tearing from neck to spine. The gasp was collective, a wave sucking air from the room. Across her back, eagle, globe, anchor the core's holy trinity. Below, a skull pierced by a rose-thorn dagger. Marsoc ink, the tip of the spear. Latin curled underneath, Semper Fi Delendo Estate. And the kicker, in block letters that froze blood. Spectre 3, Hellmand, 2020. Harlan's whisper cut the hush. Jesus. Spectre 3. She's the one. Thorn paled like he'd seen his own obituary. Tom's glass slipped, shattering anew. Victor's pistol dipped, face draining to ash. No, you're gone. We buried you. Elena straightened, the quiver gone. When she spoke, it was gravel and ice. Intel's a bitch, isn't it, Kozlov? The name hit like a gut shot. Victor's accent cracked wide harsh Slavic edges bleeding through. How? She turned full, and the shift was electric. Prey to apex in a heartbeat. Petrov, she said, eyes pinning Ivan. Still limp on that left from the blast in Fallujah 18. Shard they couldn't dig out drags when you're cocky. Ivan reeled, phone clattering. Stream kept rolling, fear blooming on his feet. Malin. Neck scar, for inches, left to right. My blade. 2 years back, you were herding a village toward a ditch in Yemen. I voted no. Sergei's hand flew to his throat, tracing the ridge she'd nailed dead on. Volkov. Night sweats from that depot in Syria, yeah? Wake up choking on diesel and screams. Napalm don't wash off the soul. She didn't glance his way, just swept the room like a laser. Then locked on Victor. Victor Kozlov, Scorpion lead. Trafficker. Butcher. The prick who peddled junk vests to our boys. 20 dead for your 5% cut. Hammers on anvils. Each word. Patrons on the floor pieced it. No bar scrap. This was reckoning. Years in the brewing. Captain Harper. Thorn cut in. Voice steel. Stand down. Order. Elena's lip twitched amusement. Not your chain anymore. Thorn. Been civilian 18 months. Tom flashed his badge then U.S. Marshal. Federal op. Folks. Easy. Ryan keyed his mic. Overwatch. Tango ID'd. Spectre has eyes on Kozlov. Victor's snarl twisted to realization. You lured us. 2 years, Elena said flat. Since your crap armor shredded my sister's convoy. 14 months dark, hunting your trail. 5 since we pegged this dive as your hit. She waved casual at the room. Every soul here? Vetted. Booths packed with players who knew the score. Welcome to Outpost Anchor, Kozlov. You didn't stumble into a tavern. You waded into the jaws. Doors blew not cops, but recon ghosts in tack gear. Ghosts no more. Spectre team in. Calls bounced as they flowed, fluid as tide. Victor swung wild, but math don't lie. Outgunned 10-1. The drop, he spat. Newman's file stats the play. Elena shrugged. Bait, dummy. Stale sat feeds and scrapped lists. You really think a ex-CIA barkeep stashes gold in his floor safe? Truth piled on. He didn't just hawk gear. He sold routes, nests, whole ops for cash. Clara's rig? Tipped to Hadji's on his whisper. Elena knelt for the photo scraps Clara in blues. Kia Hellmand. Armor that failed like tissue. Every mark on me, she said low, rolling sleeves to show the tally. 20 deliberate scars, 1 per lost Marine. From chasing you. Every lost night, every ghost I buried along the way. All for this. If chills hadn't hit yet, they did then. Harlan's wife, a tiny fireplug at 75, got yanked up as shield gun to her temple. Back off or grandma eats it. But she stomped his instep. elbowed his gut like she'd done it in Nam. Navy corpsman, 2 tours, she huffed, rolling clear. You ain't the first punk to try me as bait. Elena's dart nailed Victor's neck mid-gasp. 3 counts, and he folded like wet paper. Chaos bloomed controlled. Zip ties clicked. Medics swept civilians. Feds bagged the scene. Elena stood epicenter, shirt in rags, scars of brutal Atlas entry wounds, slashes, blast webs. Zone clear. Drop secured. Thorne approached soft. Harper, it's done. Nah, she murmured. Just round 1. Sirens wailed outside. News trucks hungry for the angle. Waitress unmasks, arms ring in sleepy main dive. But Elena melted back, dodging lenses. No FaceTime, she told Tom firm. I'm still dust in Hellman. Officially Kia, her waitress Giga Cypher. Ivan, tranked but mumbling, spilled anyway. More wheels turning. Big fish you can't hook. I know, Elena said simple. Your cells? Side gigs. The serpent's head slinks free. Thorne's brow furrowed. Your fight ain't wrapped, Captain. Never was. Just swapping sand for streets. She eyed the crowd rising slow off-duty jarheads from the base, a cyber geek in civvies, even the frat boys, feds deep cover. Harlan nodded, water glass steady. Whole town had your 6, kid. Grocer, pump jockey, mailman all vets. Semper Fi ain't a slogan. Sophia Grant, the other server, flashed her detective tin. Task force. Got it all logged for trial. As Scorpion scum got hauled, Victor lifted groggy. You lit a fuse, Spectre. They'll hunt you raw. Already won, Elena shot back. You're just late to the party. The fallout rippled like a riptide. Victor's mouth ran, cracking 47 ops, tendrils snaking to brass in 3 capitals. DOD audits hit like Hammer's contracts iced. 2 reps quit before the hounds bayed. A 3-star got the boot quiet. The vests traced to a Belarus sweatshop, kids riveting plates for chump change while suits tallied 8 figures. But threads multiplied. Victor was a cog, not the engine. Weeks blurred debriefs in sterile rooms, suits swapping for tack, then civvies that itched wrong. Elena stared at a war room wall in Virginia, strings linking mugshots and maps like a madman's web. Real as the grave. Manila's heating, Thorne said, coffee steaming as he slid in. Retired 3 years, but guys like him? They just reloaded. Spectre foreghosted her last ping. Nadia Ruiz, recon ghost, dead, in a chopper crash 21. Truth? Bar owner in Manila's underbelly, slinging San Miguel's while sniffing gun runs. Next bird out. Elena asked, already packing. Issue is, Thorne tapped his tablet, sats glowing. Every hub stateside to Pacific's on high alert. Vague threats, but sink tight. Elena traced patterns. They're grounding me. Means Nadia's burned. Thorne's jaw set. If they nabbed her, they didn't. She's dark by choice. Someone's ghosting ghosts. Deputy Marshal Tom Riley now leaned in the door. Trouble. Petrov flipped, then. Offed himself. Guards napped. Cams glitched. House cleaning. Ryan grunted from the corner. Or bait. Elena's gut twisted. Predictable was poison in her trade. Interrogation suite. Petrov hunched, knee throbbing from that Fallujah souvenir. I'll sing for Witsec. Full wipe. Why flip? Elena kept it cool, mind spinning deeks. I'll meet anyway. Kozlov. Pawn. The suits above? They cull failures. He leaned in, voice a rasp. Manila's your grave. Knew you chase for. Studied UOPS, saves, the self-sacrifice shtick. Profile says you'll burn for kin. She'll hit bone deep. Who's they? The cartel. No syndicate. Ex-spooks. Warhawks gone rogue. Motto? Empires crumble, but blood pays dividends. Names. Kozlov was all I touched. Compartmentalized. He tugged his cuff, Scorpion coiling a world. Ink for rank. Whispers of Spider in Macau, Bear in Moscow, Falcon in D.C. Falcon D.C. rot, burrowed deep. Four's last spot, Thorne pressed. Petrov squeezed eyes shut. Docs, Benondo Warehouse 22. Week old. If she's Sharpan, you specters arrests ghosts. Outside, Tom voiced the itch. Too clean. He folded soft. Wants our boots there. Elena agreed. Trap or truth? Thorne's quiet nailed it. We don't ditch our own. Flight to Manila. 16 hours zigzagging. Elena as Lila Kane. Shutterbug with gear hiding bugs. Ryan tailed as her fixer. Seal Steel in a polo. Sophia hopped a red-eye separate. Notebook ready for indictments. Manila slammed like a fever-humid slap of fried lumpia and exhaust. City throbbing at 3 a.m. Their safe house. Crumbling flat over a sari-sari store, walls steel-plated, windows one-way. The landlady, a grandma with a Glock tattoo, could reassemble an M16 blind. Nadia's trail, breadcrumbs and graffiti and trash stacks ghost code. Northeast to Rizal Park, crowds as cover. She's baiting her hook, Elena murmured over maps. Recon day blurred tourist Y. Alleys charted, roofs scoped. Docks screamed ambush chokepoints galore. Park. Chaos potential. Nightfall, Sophia's news iced it. Petrov's suicide. Syndicate mop-up. Thorn's encrypted crackle followed. Pentagon's yanking specters. Leaked to SEC Def Black Ops off books. Heads roll. Falcon, Elena breathed. Bureaucracy is blade. Reel us in, expose the web. You dark. Thorn's paws hung heavy. No net if it sours. Soured already. Force solo. Can't bail. Then the crane origami bird on the sill, unalarmed. Unfolded, Nadia's scrawl. Dawn, Rizal, Eastgate. Solo. Eyes everywhere. Ryan whistled. Forge. Nah. Her Afghanistan tick cranes for luck. And check. Flash paper, treated. Magician shit. Her flare. Dawn crept cruel. Elena slipped out 4:45, looping to flush tails. Ryan and Sophia perched Overwatch hosts ain't fools. Rizal at first light. Mist-shrouded paths. Tai Chi elders, air crisp rare. Nadia on a bench. Mom vibes leggings. Bun, crumbs for sparrows. You look wrecked, she said as Elena's Saturday, and your PDA bait. Nadia's skin never quit. Cover gold. No one clocks the minivan type. Thanks for biting. Wasn't sure the bird flew. Petrov sang pre-curtain. Manila's my coffin. Yeah, but flipped. I've been piping junk they brace for your cavalry. Choppers, raiders. Get me solo, tourist ing. Nadia's jaw tightened. Not the Y, though. Bag dip, for bread masked the drive handoff encrypted brick. Syndicate dirt, ledgers, chats, blueprints. Thorn greenlit right. These ain't peddlers. They birth wars. Scale. They don't arm fights, they spark 'em. Hits on doves, false flags for boots on ground. Guns to both squads for body counts. Your sis's vests? Nopes. Dead GI's juice budgets. Each Kia? Billions in bids. Rage coiled hot in Elena's chest, the kind that forged blades. But she leashed at luxuries kill quick. Boss. No kingpin. Council of 5, chaos brokers. Photos slid over. Suits sharp as shivs. Reginald Hayes, ex-CIA Veep, DC consultant. Wei Liang, PLA fixer crashed in 19. Irina Kozlov Victor's big sis, Swiss vault queen. Elena's gut nodded. The rest. Phantoms. But Hayes? Falcon. Decades warping policy for profitable hells. Mind reeled. Every dust up, every surge scripted for spreadsheets. She'd chase dealers. This. The devil's boardroom. Worse, Nadia pressed. They own us. Every Spectre, Nest, Play. Fed intel for years. Thorn. Balrose. Hire. Program midwife, pruning threats to their game. We weren't hunters. We were hounds, culling rivals while they farmed the field. It reframed it all wins hollow, targets patsies. A runner veered close, both tensed, hands ghosting steel. Clear. But light swelled park filling, cover thinning. Plan. Meet tonight. Hayes Bagman thinks I'm shopping stingers. Bug him, snag drives. Elena decided then, seismic. We're done whispering. Done specters. Time to scream. Nadia arched a brow. Pentagon's recall? Loud burns at all lines. Nets lives. Burned when they snitched us. Handlers see liabilities now. Elena rose. Down? We drag him to hell. Us two versus the abyss. Not lone. They profiled solos. Never synced specters. Nadia's eyes lit. All in. 15 worldwide. Webs woven. Invisible legions? Make M roar. Balls had passed mad scalpel strikes to blitzkrieg on embedded kings. Court. Your bird. Analog veins couriers, codes, meat space drops. They chase bytes. We ghosted pre-apps. 6 hours. Wheels spun. Ryan and Sophia looped in muscle and ink. Sorry Granny tapped Manila's veins. Notes flew via street kids' folds. Hawkers' coins. Friars' rounds. Noon. Echoes global. Berlin's rare book dealer, Spectre 9, called Stasi relics. Moscow's Dance Mistress, Spectre 11, roused GRU washouts. Bogota, Lagos, Mumbai Spectre turf stirred, under radar revolutions. Syndicate sniffed ping spiked, wires hummed but models screamed invasion. Jets prepped, bunkers stocked. They missed the gutter uprising. Hayes clocked it first, Georgetown lair shaking. Calls ghosted, banks flagged, whispers of probes. Then snaps, not threats dumps to Beltway press. Him with smugglers, warlords, Butcherstein stamps ironclad. Macau, Liang's crates flipped manifests weapons to no-goes. Cops swarmed, cams rolling. Irina's vaults cracked on terror fund trails, Swiss folded post, 9/11 style. Mid-tiers crumbled law for some, lead for others. Spectres hoarded dirt for doomsday, now it poured. Coup de grace, 8 p.m. Manila, feeds flooded encrypted vids. Elena, unmasked, stared lensward. I'm Captain Elena Harper, USMC. 2 years back, Kia Helmand. Lie. I've ghosted since, chasing the scum who murdered my sister Clara and 19 brothers in arms with rigged vests. Photos flashed. Hayes, Liang, Irina, 2 blurs. These vultures don't sell war, they breed it. Rubouts on peaceniks, setups for surges, arms to rivals for Max Graves. Peace starves M, bodies bankroll empires. 3 minutes. Conspiracy sketched, punchy. Closed with Clara's pick. Thought we were ghosts, deniable, discardable. Wrong. We're Marines. And we don't leave our dead behind. Viral blaze. Complicit regimes buckled under street heat. Contracts gutted, spies self-audited. Syndicates grease-slick world splintered. Manila meet? Reverse Nadia's mark rolled up by Philippine raiders. Vets with grudges from syndicate bombs. Drives seized, terabytes damning. But spotlights scorched. Covers ash, Spectre's spotlight or smoke. Elena? Dead on paper, meme in feeds. Pentagon dangled. Drumhead or discharge with bells. She grabbed the how they all did. 15 shadows to sun. Some intel gigs, trainers, vanishes. Ryan drilled SEAL pups. Sophia penned the takedown FBI Bible. Tom slung at Anchor 2.0. Walls boasting the op Hayes nabbed fleeing to nowhere extradites. Trial unearthed rot forcing 2 intel overhauls. Liang suicided in a cell wink. Irina? Smoke. 2 council wraiths. Echoes, syndicate limping but lurking. Wars brew eternal folks being folks. But factory forged carnage? Gut punched, generations to rebound. 6 months post-Manila, Elena at Arlington, autumn bite sharp. Clara's stone fresh, murdered by oath breakers, not fate. 19 others etched same. Worth the bleed. Thorne murmured, joining quiet. Askin' 50. If the lesson stuck. Silence comfy, warriors worn. He passed a file. Civilian drag you under yet. Offer. Oversee reformed Black Ops watch. Know the knife's edge, proven it cuts both ways. Ghosted out, Elena said. Good. We need you seen. Kids got a clock service ain't mute, loyalty ain't blind. Thorne grinned. Pay sucks, half cent'll spit your name. Deal. When Arlington paths crunched underfoot. By a fresh plot. Young woman in blues, rigid at Petrov, Ivan Semper Fi. Mourner, can maybe. Elena neared. He turned at the end. Chose right. Tears tracked her cheeks, but posture marine straight. Weak man, but you woke the steel. Salute traded. Phone pinged ghost number, through her crypto. Not done. Irina? Council shade? Vow or curse? Elena thumbed back. We're ready. Truth in scars. Evil shifts skins, but sentinels adapt. Ghost lone? Now a lattice vet's versed in silence's sin. Brass bucking rot. Folks fired to act. Dawn next, Elena's DC desk waited. Anchor pick pinned. Her mid-wreckage. Ink bared. Crew haloed. Scribble below. True fighters claim no crowns, just guard the line. Senators filed in, expecting a scripted soldier. Got Spectre 3, Hellman's blade, risen to carve truth. Gentlemen, ladies, she started, eyes drilling, souls spotting the compromised flickers. Let's talk war's true tab. Outside, DC gleamed marble cold. More webs wove in those halls, threats to her vow. But allies to analysts, grunts, citizens sparked by her shot, picking honor over ease. Clara's end? No ledger line now. Vengeance. Vigil. Justice? The grind of stopping repeats. Spectres, she told them. flipping files to torch careers and spare lives. Haunt only when you blind yourselves. Spot us. We're in the walls. War don't quit. Never does. But Elena Harper ain't solo in the black no more. And deep down, Clara rested easy. Death a spark for reckoning, not a suit's footnote. What if your own heroes, the ones you bled for, were cashing checks on your coffin? Would you torch the system like Elena, damn the fallout, or grind the gears from inside, hoping for scraps of change? Ever stared down betrayal that big and walked away clean? Spill in the comments your raw takes, fuel the fire. If this hit your gut, like it up, subscribe for stories that don't pull punches, and let's keep the real talk rolling.